Hey there everyone, welcome to this week's UB Chef Cook Along. So you should have your box now, get it all unpacked. What you'll find is it's all labelled up really well. All the recipes, all the labels, all colour coded, making it super easy to work out what you're doing. So I've got set crackers label here. You see it's got the label, it's got the number, so get everything together and then we'll all be ready to start cooking, go through each dish. I'm going to go through all 10 dishes now. You can watch the whole video or you can just skip to the certain dishes that you've ordered. Remember, next week, still time to order of course. Sunday is the last orders each week. Cracking menu coming up next week. One of my highlights, pativier of slow cooked short rib of beef, treacle and thyme flavoured. So you've got the pativier, you've got a little fondant potato inside it, celeriac puree, roasted beef sauce, so much going on. What a nice dish. Last order's Sunday, but for now, let's get cooking. So first dish on the menu this week is our weekly bake. So I've got my recipe card all here. I've got set crackers. I've spread them onto my tray. These are going to go in the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes. You don't have to, but for me there's something about that like real Christmas warmed up as well. Absolutely lovely. So 2 to 3 minutes in the oven for these. Then I've got my mushroom salsa, which is just at room temperature, and I've got my truffle crème fraîche just on the side here. You see I've got a dish. I've just put some barley in there to serve it on, but you don't have to. A nice big board is really nice, so then you can spread them out. So I'm going to get these in the oven now, and I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes when I'm going to show you putting this together. So I'm just finishing off piping here. You see I've spread my little truffle salsa, mushroom and truffle salsa out onto the crackers. I snip the end off the piping bag. Remember, these are compostable piping bags as well, so they can just go in your compost bin. You see I'm just piping nice little piles of that truffle crème fraîche. The crackers, I let them cool down just slightly before I started. So there you go, look at that. And really go for it on lots of little piles, because for the eye, that's where they look at their most stunning. There we go. Right, got my little dish. Now I'm just going to basically get them sitting. And as I said, you can put them in on a tray if you prefer. A nice board, looks really nice, a wooden board. So a few more in there, like so. There we go, one more just sitting on the top. And there we go. So that is my weekly bake. Starting off the menu, set crackers, the little mushroom salsa and the truffle crème fraîche. Enjoy. Up next we've got a consommé of red mullet for a starter here. So recipe card, look at the consommé here. So consommé is basically a clarified liquid, so perfectly clear, look at that. Awesome colour to it. What that is, we've taken the red mullet bones, we made a lovely stock. It's got some saffron in there, Isle of Wight tomatoes. We've made that stock and then we've clarified it so it's nice and clear after. I've got a shellfish boudin just there. So that's a salmon based mousse, and in there we've got crayfish, we've got a touch of langoustine, we've got tiger prawns, we've got loads going in there. So that's going to go into the water, just in there, about 8 minutes. So simmer in water, put it in, and then it will just cook through, but you don't want it rapidly boiling because otherwise it will then be overcooked. And then I've got my garnishes. I've got a little steamed carrot here, so I've got steamed yellow and orange carrots. I've got some cured red mullet in there and a little bit of toasted cumin seeds, fresh orange segments, and a nice little powerful shellfish oil as well. So when we come back, this is basically going to go on the stove. Remember, you'll see a little tip on the card. Don't overheat it, don't boil it, because as soon as you boil it, the flavour's going to basically start drifting away. So you just want to bring it up to the simmer, that's it. Orange, that's all going in at room temperature. Back in a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to show you putting this together. Okay, so my boudin is just coming out now. So that's all on there, just lovely poached in the film, hot bowl, ready to go. And then my consommé, just coming up to the simmer. Remember, that's really important, don't boil it. So let's get our carrots, and this is just room temperature, but I'm putting these in that because of course the consommé is going to heat everything up. And I've got that mullet which we've just cured, lovely bit of citrus, that's been cured in, so I'm getting, make sure you get all those cubes of mullet, spread that out nicely, just so that our boudin can sit on the top. So that's all ready to go. Tiny bit more mullet already, right? Let's get our consommé. Just steaming away, really, really important. Then our boudin. So what you should do, see, I'll just snip off the end of a film with scissors, and then just get the end. Easiest way is just to put the back of a knife and just pull that film off, like so. Then for me, I'm gonna cut it on a diagonal, so I'm just gonna really, really carefully cut that through with a knife, like so. There we go. Tiniest bit of Maldon salt on the top. Then I'm gonna get my boudin, really, really delicate, so be careful with it. Just gonna put that on the top, like so. A little bit of a clean down on my board. Then let's get our consommé. Pour that in. Try and pour it just over the carrots, of course. That will help them just to heat up. But pour it nice and carefully. There we go. What's up next? Orange. Lovely orange segments. Fresh orange. Beautiful flavour. Let's get a few of those. I'm just going to put 3 nice segments in there. And then finally, get your little sachet of shellfish oil. Cut off one corner. And then, see, I'm just literally going to add some droplets all the way around, and you'll notice that they just float on the top, like so. There we go. That's my consommé of red mullet, lovely shellfish boudin, toasted cumin seeds, orange segments. Hope you enjoy a starter. So we've got our take on carbonara now. So lovely starter coming up. This is an oxtail carbonara. Got my recipe card here. So I've got all my elements. First of all, we've got this slow cooked oxtail in this sachet. It's got a lovely rich red wine sauce in there. That's going to go in the sachet, in the water, 6 minutes. So 6 minutes, scalding water, that will be all ready to go. And then my garnishes. So here's my linguine. So in here I've got a spinach linguine which we've rolled for you. It's got a touch of nutmeg on the top and a little bit of butter. Basically, per portion of pasta, you want 2 tablespoons of cold water. So 1, 2 tablespoons of water, and then that is going to go on the heat. It's going to come up to the simmer, and then you're going to give it a good shake and basically cook it for a further 3 to 4 minutes. But basically, as long how you like your pasta. If you like it al dente, a little bit longer, but take a little strand out, have a taste. So 2 to 3, 4 minutes. Then my garnishes. I've got a lovely little garlic cream just here, just infused rich garlic cream seasoning. That's going to go on the stove just to warm up when we're near the time, and also a smoked bacon and thyme butter, again clarified butter. Both those will go on and they'll get warmed up, and that leaves parmesan for when we plate up. So I'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes and I'll show you all of this coming together. So we're all ready to plate up our carbonara now, so hot plate ready to go. Carbonara, just turn the heat off on that. I like a little bit extra seasoning, so good bit of Maldon. Give it a toss over. Put a tiny bit of rapeseed in there as well. There we go. That's my pasta, all ready to go. Right, garlic cream and the smoked bacon thyme butter. And then let's get our oxtail. What I suggest you do with the oxtail, I've just got a little warm dish there. Just snip off the oxtail bag, and look at that unctuous oxtail, all picked off, really, really nice, all ready to go. So get your nice portion of pasta. You can twirl it if you like, but I'm just going to go straight on. And then use your tongs just to spread that out over the plate. The reason I'm spreading it out and not twirling it is because I want all the garnishes nicely spread out on the top. So you're going to get a little bit of everything when you eat it. So that's all lovely. Right then, let's get some of our garlic cream first of all. Not all of it, but just a bit. Make sure all of the pasta's getting some of that cream. Then we'll get our oxtail. You see how I'm just gonna take these nice little pieces, This is all split into like the individual muscle of when you pick it off of the oxtail. So make sure that is nicely divided. It's been cooked in a lovely red wine thyme sauce, bit of garlic in there, like so, and then a touch of that cooking liquor. Serious flavour here. There we go. Then what I'm going to do, get the rest of my garlic cream on. Then we'll go with our bacon butter, smoked bacon butter, more thyme flavour in here. And this just adds that richness, like so. And then just to finish, a lovely bit of aged parmesan. Just going over the top. You see how that will instantly start to melt in. And that is it. There we go. That's a carbonara, isn't it? Oxtail carbonara, bacon butter, garlic cream. Hope you enjoy it. Up next is our vegetarian starter on the Uber Chef menu this week. So I've got a lovely bruschetta of roasted figs, green barn goat's cheese, a touch of watercress and a balsamic dressing. So what you're going to have your nice piece of bruschetta just on here. Take the sticker off, but this here is our greaseproof paper, compostable greaseproof paper. So that bruschetta is going to go in the oven about 6 to 8 minutes, and then the figs about 5 minutes. So 6 to 8, 5 minutes for the figs. And then here I've got my watercress, I've got my goat's cheese, and I've got my balsamic dressing. So back in about 5 or 6, and I'll show you how to put the bruschetta together. There you go, we come then. That's my figs and bread, all heated up. So let's bring them over. They're lovely and bubbling away. So I've got my watercress all ready to dress. Get a spoon, give that balsamic dressing a really, really good stir. That re-emulsifies it together. And remember also with the dressings, we always send you with more than you need, so you can use it on another dish after. So see, I'm just going to take a little bit. That's absolutely enough to start with. A tiny bit of molten salt as well, and then just a gentle mix that just coats everything together. That's my watercress. Then let's get my bruschetta out, lovely piece of bruschetta. Remember that can go in your compost bin. So what we'll do to dress this up, let's get our figs. And I'm just going to place them on the bruschetta, all slightly random. Goat's cheese, get a knife and just cut off the end of that bag. Remember that is compostable as well. And then see how I'm going to pipe that goat's cheese in and sort of on top of the bread, and go a few nice pipes. You can put a little bit on the top if you prefer as well. That's all good to go. Then let's get our watercress. You see how then I'm gonna take those lovely little leaves of dressed watercress and just poke them in, get a bit of height going on there. Like so, and again, you don't have to use all of it, you can serve some on the side. It really is up to you. So I think we're all nearly good to go there. I'm just going to put one last piece in there. Lovely. So on that goes, onto my plate, back to our dressing. Give it a good stir, and then a tiniest bit on the top. You get a lovely effect of dressing just falling down, and then a little bit around. And that's why we send you the extras, so you're free to plate up as a chef. There we go. That's my bruschetta of goat's cheese, lovely caramelised figs, watercress on our sourdough. Our first main course for you is our fish course. What we've got is a lovely piece of Gurnard, roasted Gurnard. We've got crispy squid just here, which we've marinated, and it's a lovely little crumb. Then we've got some tender stem broccoli just charred. This is chickpeas, so chickpeas, Isle of Wight tomatoes and rose harissa, so smoky rose little paste in there, which is really, really nice. And I've just got a little white wine sauce to go with it on here. Gurnard needs to go in the oven about 8 minutes, basically until it's just hot. Fish is really, really important. You don't want it to be boiling hot in the side, but again, completely up to you. It depends how you like it cooked. So I'd say about 8 minutes or 7 or 8 minutes for that. Squid and the broccoli as well, that'll take about 6 minutes or so. So I'm going to get these in the oven now, and then we'll come back. All of this will be heated up and I'll show you how to present it. Okay, so let's get ready for the Gurnard there. Hot plate, just bring my sauce over. So I've got my, first of all, chickpea stew. Let's get a nice bit of that in the centre. Rose harissa is one of my favourites, really nice warming flavour from it, but it's not that real harsh chilli paste. This is rose petals, lovely and smoky flavour in there, so nice bit of that on there. Then let's get some of our broccoli up next. Just put a few pieces. The reason why we char it is just another level of flavour. A nice few pieces of broccoli around, like so. Right, fish slice next. Go in your piece of Gurnard. Get that nicely on the top. There we go. And then let's get some of our squid. So a little piece of a tentacle on there. We've marinated this as well with a little bit of buttermilk, really, really nice. And a few pieces of squid. And then our sauce. So a bit of fish velouté. I'm not gonna pour that over the fish, I'm just gonna go around. That way you keep the nice textures that you've worked hard on to recreate. Tiniest bit of rapeseed oil over the top for that little fleck of orange in the sauce. A little bit of a clean up. And ready to go. That's the main course there. Red Gurnard, crispy squid, rose harissa chickpea stew, charred broccoli. Hope you enjoy. So a real mainstay of a menu now, barbecue rump of lamb. So basically this is a barbecue rump of lamb which we've sous vide, so it's lovely and tender. When you carve it, you've got to carve it across the grain of the meat. So if the grain's going that way, you want to carve it that way, and that will make it really, really tender, of course, as well. This is going to go in the oven for about 14 to 16 minutes. Again, 14 if you like it a bit more pink. If you want it well done, 20 minutes. Most importantly, let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes at least. Before you carve it, really, really important. So that's going to go in now. Then I've got my little lamb shoulder croquettes just here, 5 to 6 minutes in the oven. Really, really nice braised lamb shoulder in a crispy breadcrumb. And then also ragu. I'll just show you this here. This is my ragu of cannellini beans, runner beans in there, fresh mint, and then the sauce. We've made a roasted lamb stock. We've reduced that down with cream, touch of sherry vinegar, so full flavour in there. It just needs warming up on the stove. Again, bring it up to the simmer, 1 or so minute just to heat it up, that's it. And then you've got a nice little piping bag of salsa verde. So compostable bag, look at that, lovely, all encased in there. This is going to go in that oven now, 14 to 16. We'll be back in about 20 once my lamb's rested. So there is my ragu, all hot, ready to go. Hot bowl. So as I said, my lamb has been resting now for a good 5 or so minutes, and you can tell there's a few juices that have come out. That's really, really important because you don't want that to happen on your plate, of course. So salsa verde, croquettes, lamb, and my nice ragu. What we'll do first, let's get a nice little pile of ragu, and again, just try and drain it off a little bit as you plate it, and then that will leave us to put the sauce around the outside. So plenty of cannellini beans. This is proper autumn cooking now. Very much suiting how it is out there today. So let's get, it's just about enough on there. There we go. A little bit of sauce on that one. Save the sauce for after. Then I'm going to get my croquettes. Just going round like so. There we go. Then for our lamb, a little drain there. what I like to do, turn it over onto the fat side, like so, and then try and look, you can see where the grain of the meat is, that's really, really important, and then slice off either end, so you can see there how I'm slicing across the grain. Take the other end off as well, those bits are for testing, and then slice. Look at that, that's where it's rested, absolutely awesome. Then, so I'm going to get a little bit of salt, season each layer, molten salt, really, really nice. Then I'm going to arrange my pieces of lamb just on my board, first of all, like so. Final little drain onto the plate. There we go, you can see that colour there, a little rinse in my hands. Then, two things to go. Let's get some more sauce around the outside. This has got delicious sherry vinegar in it, which goes lovely with lamb. And then let's cut my end off a bag of the salsa verde. Completely up to you, you can spoon it on or pipe it on, but I find it a bit easier to pipe. Now I'm going to pipe some nice little, this is like mint sauce, so anyone who's asking for mint sauce at the table, you can say it's already on there. So a little bit more of there, and there we go. That is my lovely little rump of lamb, croquettes of braised shoulder, that delicious ragu finished with salsa verde. Hope you enjoy it. Such a tasty risotto on the way for you now for our vegetarian main course this week. So here is a butternut squash risotto. As normal, we send you the risotto rice, which is all part cooked already, and then you've got the liquor here, which is really, really important because that's what we cook the rice in, and it's all starchy, so that all needs to go into the risotto, like so, and then that's just going to go onto the heat. Put it onto a sort of medium-low heat first of all, and just bring that up to the simmer. Okay, once it comes up to the simmer, keep stirring it about 4 minutes, and then it will be completely cooked. If you want it a bit more al dente, 3.5, a little bit more, 5 minutes. I've got a selection of mushrooms here, sauté mushrooms. They're going to go in the oven about 4 or 5 minutes. In they go. And then the rest of my garnishes, these lovely little baby onions, which we've just glazed in some sherry vinegar. They just need to drop the whole sachet into a little pan of water, scalding water, and again 4 or so minutes they'll be all ready to go. Little pine nut pesto just on there, and some lovely little crispy parmesan. That's just going to garnish your top. So all those garnishes are ready. I'm going to keep stirring my risotto now just as that comes up to heat. And we'll be back in about 4 minutes to plate up. So plate all ready. I've got my mushrooms out there. Risotto, that's just coming up for 4 minutes. That's been on now. So let's turn that off. And you can see, lovely and creamy, but you don't want it to be stodgy. Okay? Let's get my onions out. Grab them out of a slight spoon. And then right, let's get going here. So cut the onions open. They're all smelling delicious with that sherry vinegar in there. Now I've got all my garnishes. So let's get my risotto. And use the spatula just to tamp out the risotto so you get it nice and round, like so. There we go. So that's all good to go. Then let's get some of my mushrooms and just garnish the top, spread them out so you get a nice little bite of mushroom with every mouthful. There we go. So, happy with that. Some of our onions. Like little jewels resting on the top. You can also put a bit of that cooking liquor on there. That's got that lovely sherry vinegar flavour running through it. Then I'm going to get a nice spoon of my pesto. You can put little dots around it, up to you. I'm going to go with a nice little spoon in the centre. And then take your crispy parmesan and just add that in little shards. I'm just kind of nestling it into the risotto itself. And after this, you want to get it basically quickly to the table, because that parmesan is going to start losing its edge. So get it served as quickly as possible after this. There we go. Look at that, killer risotto, butternut squash, that pesto on there, cherry vinegar onions, wild mushrooms. Hope you enjoy. On to desserts now, and here we've got a lovely sticky toffee pudding, but it's a little bit of a twist on there. It's got miso going through it. So little miso caramel sauce just on the top. This is going to go in the oven now for 6 minutes. When it comes out, I've got a little vanilla custard just here. Remember that's going to go on the stove. But don't leave it alone, it needs to be stirred so it doesn't scramble. So just warmed up on that. We've got a little white chocolate miso fudge. I'd suggest keep that in the fridge until last second, just so you can handle it easy. And then we've got pink grapefruit segments and confit to go on the top. So this is going in the oven for 6 minutes now, and we'll be back, plate up this awesome sticky toffee. So there comes my sticky toffee there. Look at that. Oh, delicious. And let's get my custard. So, to plate this one up, get a fish slice. Get right under there. We've got it on that some of that nice UV Chef paper in the bottom to make sure it doesn't stick. So just let that drain just a touch, and then on the top like so. I'm going to get a little spoon extra of sauce. So just before it starts to kind of set up at all, just get a little bit extra of that sauce. So that is the key to a lovely sticky toffee. So that is all on there. Then what we're going to do is get our nice pieces of pink grapefruit and just sort of sit these on the top like so. We've got a nice little bit of fudge to go on, so just be really careful with that. So I'm just kind of going to sit them on there. There we go. And then get some of that confit just to garnish the top of it. A little bit more pink grapefruit. And then finally, let's get that bit of custard. This is my vanilla custard. You want a nice bit of that. Like so. There we go. Sticky toffee pudding, that miso flavour going through, pink grapefruit on the top for that little bit of bitterness to cut through. Hope you enjoy this one. So we've got a lovely Choux Bun dessert for you now. This is my Choux Bun here. It's got this lovely little crackle and glaze on the top. This has just been in the oven for about 2 to 3 minutes just to re-crispin it up, and most importantly, let it go cool. So take a serrated knife, and then all I'm going to do is slice, put your hand just on the top of a Choux Bun and carefully slice through it, okay? Like that. Just get a little spoon. See how airy that is inside, and just push that down so you've got your space to put everything in. And then what's going to go in there? Bramley apple compote, first of all. There we go. And that goes, really get loads of compote in there, delicious. Then I'm going to get my little bag of Blackberry white chocolate mousse, cut off the end, and then pipe as smoothly as you can to fill that up in there, like so. And then what we're going to do at this stage, let's get it onto our plate. And then we've got these lovely little foraged brambles here, foraged by us, I might say. And they are in a really nice little sloe gin syrup. So I'm going to get a good spoon of them on the top, like so. Get some of that lovely sloe gin syrup and just let that pour onto the plate nicely. plenty of that on there. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my lid. I'm just going to serve it just on the side like that, and then just for a little bit of frills on the top, let's get some of this red vein sorrel. I'm just going to get that out onto your board, and you just get a few pieces. Just a nice little look, lovely little flavour to it. There's just a few more pieces on there, maybe one more. And there we go. And that is my lovely little choux bun, blackberry mousse inside, apple compote in the bottom, and a sloe gin dressing around it. Hope you enjoy it. Last course of this week's Chef menu is our cheese course. So remember, you've got your little notes here, which will say to you to make sure this is warmed up for about 15 minutes at room temperature before you serve it. And then of course you've got your separate cheese notes to go alongside. So just unwrap your cheeses. So you've got the grease-proof there, that's all of course can go in your compost bin. And then you've got your cheeses all set out here. So just then add them to your board, all in order. So we're going to go with that nice bit of cave aged goat cheese first. Then we're going to get our comté on there. A little bit of taleggio, but we'll get on next. And then our wash rinded long, and a little rinse on there before I just really carefully get that nice bit of gorgonzola, really rich. Final bit to go on for there is my quince and our chutney. Let's get that going. Touch of house chutney in there. It's a nice little variation to swap between the quince paste and the chutney. And then we've got these fennel seed crackers. Really nice flavour with all of our cheeses. So basically just get those, lay them up at the side, and there you go, all ready to serve with your cheese notes. Happy eating. Hey UB chefs, hope you enjoyed this week's cook along, and of course all the dishes. Remember, last orders for next week are Sunday evening. It's always Sunday evening. There's always a new menu 4 weeks ahead. But hope you enjoyed your meal. Have a great rest of the weekend, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.